Hey guys, my name is Emma and today we're going to be doing another flip through in my bullet journal, this time for February and March. So thematically speaking, February I decided to play around with some stuff to do with like weather and the sky and that kind of a vibe. I don't actually really like most of my February and March bullet journal in the end. I kind of like each individual spread, but I think cohesively they didn't work very well together. But you live and learn, and that's one of the things that's really nice about bullet journaling, is you can change things up and try things and not necessarily be committed. So this is my February title page. Went for Feb in a sun, and then just this, nice cute quote. I do quite like this actually. I think I like the way that the lettering has come out, and it's very bright and sunny, which kind of goes against February weather, but that's how I like to roll. Then we have my monthly tracker spread, just kind of the calendar spread, as you can see. Some of these were taken as inspiration off of Instagram, and wherever I can I will link the post down below. But as always, if you just kind of check out my Instagram and lots of my saved sections, then I do have an entire one for bullet journal inspiration, and I can't always remember where things inspired me. Fortunately, I'm a bit rubbish at that. So yeah, so this is this one. February and March is slightly strange for me work-wise, because basically for at least half of February I was unemployed and job hunting, hence the job hunt down here, this little guy. And then I ended up getting a job and within 5 weeks leaving it, and so that was the start of April. So both February and March was slightly strange in terms of like what I was using my bullet journal for and how I needed the spreads. As you can see, there is a definite drop off of like tracking habits when we get to here, because basically I started my new job on the 20th and I just kind of forgot to track anything. I really love this tracker though. I think it's gorgeous, and as always my NBA tracker in here, which you're going to stop seeing soon because it's basically done. Then we have my classic bullet journal and video planner. I don't really know what was going on over here when it came to the thematic doodle style. I was just kind of playing around with doing scenes, to be honest. So my video planner there, and then my book journal, which I tried to make look a little bit more like a weather report. So that keeps going on. I was very ambitious for my plans for February, went all the way up to 18 and did not get anywhere near. That's fine. Ooh, lovely noisy road today. Thrillerathon happened in 2018. Words. Thrillerathon happened in February, and so we have my my spread for it here. I tried to go very crime. I also made a mistake and then tried to fix it with some like white Tipp-Ex, and then realised that I can't paint over the draw over the white Tipp-Ex, and it all went horribly wrong up there, so we're just going to ignore that. And then I realised that I was struggling to track my graphic novels and like what volume I was up to, and if I was planning on continuing to read them or not. So this is a vague attempt to try and fix that, and I just kind of wanted to play with like graphic novel-y type and like comic book style writing. I might make this a monthly theme later on, so I wanted to kind of test it out with a little spread here. Then we have a weekly planner. There's a fair number of weekly planners in here. I love this format with the different boxes. I think that this is a classic for me. We have another weekly planner, this time with the phases of the moon. Apparently I was out all day that day. That's good to know. A third weekly planner even. And again, we've gone back to my box format, which I enjoy. And we've brought those kites back. And then again, this is where kind of I just stopped using it basically for weekly planners, because then I had like a formal office job that had its own organisational system, so I didn't really need this anymore, which is why this is left completely blank. But that's one of the things that I really love about bullet journaling, is that you can do what you need at that time in your life and at that time in the year, so that it works for you, which I think is amazing, because like the weekly planners were so helpful when I was unemployed and I was job hunting to make sure I stayed focused, whereas now I really don't need them as much because I have various planning things at work and I'm just kind of duplicating up things. So this has gone back to being just a personal thing. Then we have March, which I think was insects was the theme. Again, I'm not these broader themes I'm going to stop with when we get to April and they get a little bit more niche. This one just looks like it's Winnie the Pooh themed. It wasn't intentional, but doesn't this look really like Winnie the Pooh? And then we have my video planner where we have all the tracking things. I was going to do a crazy wheel thing and it just straight out didn't work, which sucked. And I was going to do women in fantasy, but it also was like work was absolutely crazy, so I didn't, which was rubbish. There was a lot of change in my mind as to what I was posting in March as well, which wasn't really ideal. Then we have my book journal. I love this spread. I absolutely love any of the stuff that I've done with the bees, and I picked up some like metallic Sharpies in bronze and gold and silver, and I don't know how well you can see that on the page, but like there's like a slight shine all the way around the edges. So really enjoyed this, really liked my little bee. And then to play around with ideas, kind of flipped it on this one, and in some ways I think I actually like this one more. I love the honeycomb effect of all the leaves, and it's just really fun to draw around them. Again, was very ambitious with my reading. I did a little habit tracker. Again, I don't know how well you can see that, but basically I did the tracker too far over and then attempted to try and fix it, but it actually bled through onto this page and you could see tracker really clearly, so I had to paint over it on this page. I've not yet found a system for like fixing mistakes in bullet journals that I like, that I don't think makes it more stressful. I did not track much at all, as you can see. Not that I didn't do lots of these things, I did loads of them, but I did not track anything. I also apparently just stopped tracking my MBA. I have done both of these, but I just forgot to fill them in. This is where my bullet journal has ceased to be quite as necessary as it was before, so I have just stopped filling in certain things. So April is far more like pared down and pulled back when it comes to how many spreads I have, because I just don't need that many. But I do like my little caterpillar. I think he's cute. Then we have my monthly planner, which was very excessive, and I decided to do my first Dutch door with a little cutout to it, which then when we flipped was totally unnecessary because all I did was doodle on the side, and I really didn't use this bit at all. But I do like this. I think this is pretty, very pretty, and then this is a theme that I kind of come back to. There's a lot of pages stuck together where I just screwed things up over the past few months. Then we've got a few weekly planners as such. These ones, as you can see, I've just gone for individual dates, and this was where I had like more formal days off where something needed doing, rather than trying to do a whole week where actually most of the week where I'm at work I don't need to have boxes for them. It's more for the specific days off. And in April that completely changed again, because I've gone from having a 9 to 5 to now being on a bit of a rota and having a lot more control over when I'm working, but I'm also not going to be using these necessarily to track things. So everything's been kind of playing around. It's been good fun seeing what I need to do with my bullet journal to make it functional for me. So I've been watching a lot of videos and trying to get a lot of inspiration. Sorry, my rabbits are going to be eating cardboard boxes in the background, which is going to be very noisy. I also like my little spider, and we've got the silver pen. Then I went for, these are just like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, so as you can see, I've got very specific days again and a nice big task list. I was very productive this week, look at that, so many ticks. And then I think this is the final one, which even though nothing is ticked, I did actually do all of these, I just forgot to come back and tick it. I decided to commit back to that like ladybug and plant theme. I've decided I'm going to do more honed in themes next time. And then the final spread you guys are going to see is my Owls TBR for the Magical Readathon. This is actually for April, but I slightly screwed up how much space I left myself, so it's technically come just before the April header, so you get to see it in this one. Oh, sorry. So went for something that was a little bit more chill than my last one, and I do need to update this because I've now actually done Ancient Runes and Potions as well. You girls doing all right. We can get through this. So yes, and just the super sneak peek, April is going to be sunflowers, so we're going to come back to that one because I loved the sunflower one from January, so I've decided to go back and do some of my favourite like mini themes on individual spreads and make them the full month, because that's good fun. It's good fun to rein yourself in sometimes. Restraint and constrictions on ideas actually make you more creative, I feel. So yes, that is my bullet journal for February and March. Like I said in this video, I'm really hugely loud bus, sorry about that. I am really enjoying having to think harder about what role my bullet journal is playing in my life right now, and when I need it and when it is actually being useful, rather than being something that is fun to doodle in and then I'm trying to like ad hoc, in hindsight, defend and kind of rationalize why I'm using a spread. So yeah, it's really, really interesting to be having all these different changes in situations. Hopefully the job situation now is just going to stick and I'm going to stay where I am, because I'm really happy and I think that I've found a good fit, and I think that there's actually more room for this to come into play again, because they're far less rigid on like how they use their organization, and my role is far more independent to a lot of the rest of the team, which is quite cool. So yeah, everything generally is very, very good, and I hope you enjoy this. So have a wonderful reading week, and I will chat to you soon. Bye guys.